Resistance is futile.
Boldly going where no show has gone before. This is The Week in Geek with David D. Squared and Brian Held. Heard live on News Talk 99.5 WRNO and the iHeartRadio app. Here are your hosts, Brian Held and D. Squared.
Greetings, people of Earth. This is The Week in Geek, your source for geek and pop culture news that's trending now. I'm your host, D Squared, with
Brian Held.
Brian Held. How the hell are you, buckaroo?
I'm good, man. It's we've had a good week.
We did? What did we do?
What do you mean, what did we do? We got to hang out with Mark Meir last Monday.
Oh, that was, yeah.
Yeah.
I forgot. It's a blur.
No, I know. He gave a cool endorsement to the House of Shock as Commander Shepard. That was nifty.
Yes, the best haunted house on the Citadel.
Yes, and that video is available on our Facebook page. I went ahead and edited it and put it up there.
Oh, well, that was nice of you.
Yeah, so.
Yeah, no, he was good people. And our boys over at the effects company,
it's Composite Effects out of Baton Rouge.
Yeah.
CFX, yes.
Right. So, I got a little pin from them.
Did you?
I did. They said they were going to give you one, but I got it.
All right, that's fine.
He'll get you one, though.
Oh, okay, all right.
All right, well, they just printed them up. So, all right, well, let's lay out the show real quick, Brian.
All right, so, we got some top nerd news coming up, and we're going to run that into the second segment.
Yeah, we got a lot of news to touch on today. We got a lot of stuff that happened over the course of the week, and then at some point we'll bring on our boy Skungy with his pick of the week. He's going to talk about his butthole.
Oh, jeez.
Oh, the fractured butthole.
Yes.
Oh, South Park. Okay.
Yes.
See, I misread that. He should type that better. And then we're going to have Miss Shannon Kitchens come on, talk about NaNoWriMo.
Right.
And I think I said her name right. I probably said it wrong, though,
Probably
because
so.
I'm a Dumas.
Yes.
And then we're going to wrap up the show like we always do with This Week in Geek History. Brian?
Yes.
Are you ready for Top Nerd News?
Yes.
You know what? I didn't fix it again. So.
Oh, jeez.
And now your top nerd news stories from around the world. Yes, they're around the world, Brian. Brought to you by your mama. Don't you die on
Oh, my
me.
God. You're so ridiculous, Dave.
I'm sorry. I didn't get that done.
No, you didn't. All right, well, hey, out of the gate, Thor 2, The Revengers.
The Revengers.
We know each other. He's a friend from work.
So I've seen this twice this weekend.
Twice?
Yes.
Was it that good?
I enjoyed the heck out of it. Yeah, I saw it.
Yeah.
Yeah, right after work on Friday, I ran to the theater, got in there.
Good Lord.
And then I went and saw Jim Gaffigan at the Sanger.
I know.
Yeah, so thanks, Dan, for those tickets. And then I saw it today.
Yeah, so I saw it Saturday morning. I actually... Both the shows on WRNO for our Saturday shows that I always work, they both ran best ofs. I had an entire Saturday off to myself. It was crazy.
Wow.
So I got to go see Thor with the boys, man. It was a good day. It was a good day.
Yeah. So
yeah.
What did you think?
I thought it was great. I mean, it was funny. I almost kind of feel like there was too much humor.
There was a lot of humor, but if you think about it from the perspective of the director who did What We Do in the Shadows, right? And that whole thing is filled with very dry kind of humor that makes a lot of sense. So.
Well, I mean, but I enjoyed it. It had a good story. It kept me entertained. I mean, I don't want to give away a whole hell of a lot. It's not like we can really spoil a whole lot that I'm aware of. Carl Urban, I loved him.
Yes.
with his guns, Des and Troy.
Yeah.
Des and Troy.
Yes.
He's so stupid, but I love him. Carl Urban has become like the one man wrecking crew of sci-fi movies. I mean, like. He's done some major parts, but I mean, he's also done a lot of little side bits. I mean, of course, he's done Judge Dredd and Star Trek as Bones. But I mean, just what was the one with Vin Diesel? The Riddick, Chronicles of Riddick.
Okay.
He's done a whole bunch of things like that. And
he was Éomer in Lord of the Rings.
Right.
Yeah.
I mean, he's become like a sci-fi legend, man. We need to. I'm gonna go stalk him later after the show.
Oh yeah, no,
we need to get him on the show.
You know, I met him at Dragon Con very briefly.
Really?
Yeah, I went ahead and stood in line.
Did you just
got the
open
autograph.
the door and say, "Here you go, sir"?
No, I didn't. But I got to thank him for keeping the helmet on in Dredd, and he was like, "You're very welcome."
You're welcome, citizen.
Right. But no, without once again giving spoilers away, that opening fight scene with Thor gave me goosebumps.
Oh, yeah?
Right, just because, I mean, it summoned the little kid in me thinking about reading Thor as a kid and just kind of imagining those fights with the big monsters. And it was that was it for me. So, no, it was a fantastic movie, guys. Go see it twice. Because
I'd see it again and again. Well, didn't it break budgets? I mean, the blockbuster, what was it, like 120 million? What was it? It was some obscene number.
It's breaking records across the world right now. It's doing really well. And, of course, it blew the socks off the previous two entries in the Thor franchise.
Yeah.
We'll see some numbers tomorrow, definitely.
But, yeah, no, go see it. We loved it. We highly recommend it.
We do.
Now, what about Stranger Things? Do you highly recommend that?
So, season 2, I'm finished it up Saturday morning.
I still haven't even watched the damn thing.
And I enjoyed the heck out of it. It still has that same 80s nostalgia that you got from the first one. Of course, it advances the storyline. There was one episode, episode 7, that really felt out of place because it takes place outside of the community. There's some important story elements that happen in it, but it was just a little weird, and it by itself could honestly stand alone. But overall, it was great. You're going to enjoy it. 9 episodes. You can knock that out pretty quick.
I like there was an article that we posted on our Facebook page, facebook.com/The Week in Geek, about Dragon's Lair, the game that the kids are playing.
Right.
And, back then, the unheard of 50 cents per game, and that game was so ridiculously hard that all you did was just die.
Yeah.
And it's funny. I mean, I know I never completed the damn game.
Neither did I.
I don't think I ever got past, like, the drawbridge. I mean, I know I got past the drawbridge, but I would always, you're like 3 frames into it. It's like 3 little, either dash left, dash right, or duck, or whatever. I mean, I could never see the blinky things fast enough.
So, if I'm not mistaken, at the time it was like $1 or $2 to play that thing.
Yeah,
right?
yeah, it was expensive as hell. I mean, back then they advertised it in the newspaper. I remember they had it up. The Dragon's Lair, come play it at Chuck E. Cheese. I'm like, I gotta go, Grandma. Let's go.
Right. No, I got $5 on Saturday mornings to go play at Aladdin's Castle in the mall, which got you $6 for the early bird, $6 worth of tokens. Yeah,
nice score.
And I didn't blow any of that on Dragon's Lair because it was a limited resource.
Yeah, smart move, man. Smart move.
Hey, it looks real quick. Thor Ragnarok looks like it's going to be a 121 million weekend.
Yeah, see.
Yeah.
You know the song?
We got all serious for a second.
No, we didn't.
No,
it's the theme song for the Orville. So this is not serious at all.
It sort of sounds serious, though, Dave.
Yes, it is seriously funny. So look, the Orville, Fox has actually renewed something. They didn't cancel it. They renewed that stuff.
I'm shocked. We should have put money on that.
No, because we'd have lost our shirts, dude. So the Orville has been renewed for a 2nd season, and you and I were talking about that before the show. One of the latest episodes really took me back to original Star Trek. I mean, I kid you not, man. They came across a planet where it was a Earth-like planet, stuck in our 2000s, and the entire world was ruled by up votes or down votes. There was no like a hierarchy, except for everybody was it was like democracy on crack, with
social media.
Yes, and so like everybody had little badges with a little red down arrow or a green up arrow, and if you liked somebody, you opened the door, they go, oh, thank you, and they thumb you up.
Yeah.
And like this one guy bumps into a guy with a cup of coffee, spills on him. He's like, grrr, and he downvotes him. And so and later on they're at a coffee shop, and this lady's like, look, I really just want to get a cup of coffee. She goes, look at the sign. If you've got more than 5 million downvotes, we don't serve you.
Wow.
And so it went from there, and it really had that old Star Trek feel where they'd come across, an Earth-like planet, because they didn't have a big budget to, get all these aliens and stuff. And so they really took a look at how we do things now. It was a great little looking through the lens thing, just like Star Trek would do, you know? And I mean, at the end of the episode, we had some closure, but, yet again, it left you, pondering, and just like in all the Star Trek episodes, they would leave some, they would make a connection with somebody on the Earth-like planet.
Right.
And then they would take that knowledge to the rest of the world,
Yeah.
And so, it's funny because at the end, the girl just kind of turns off the TV. She unplugs, as it were.
Interesting.
And so the Orville, I mean, I'm excited. I mean, I enjoy the episodes, and I mean, Seth gets it. MacFarlane just gets it. And Star Trek Discovery has also been renewed, Brian.
Yes, but they don't get it.
I don't think they get it.
No. And
CBS sure as hell doesn't get it, because I still ain't paying to see the crap.
No. And
I mean, no one has told me, dear God, David, you need to go get this CBS All Access because you are missing out.
Well, and I'm wondering if, because in the article that we're looking at in regards to Star Trek Discovery, it says that, they've got so many subscribers now who are jumping in and watching this, but I'm wondering if, like, my subscription that I immediately canceled is counted as a positive, like, yeah, look.
I think you might be right. They might be going, yeah, all these people took advantage of that free week, and, well, we're not. They're all on board, but even though they jumped ship after the next episode.
Yeah, everything that I'm hearing out of it is real kind of mixed bag. Like, some people enjoy it, and that's great. I'm glad you like it, but there's a lot of people who are like, this is terrible.
I don't want to cast dispersions upon it yet, since I haven't seen it, though.
Right.
And so, I mean, I might really enjoy it as well, but it's just that it's behind a paywall, and just forget about it. I'm not doing the paywall crap.
Yeah.
Now, speaking of other paywall crap,
Ryan,
I think you know this theme song.
I do know this theme song.
So, Key and Peele,
yeah.
Who is it who's doing it? Jordan Peele is actually rebooting
The Twilight Zone.
The Twilight Zone.
Yeah.
But it's going to be behind the CBS All Access paywall.
So I can just look at this and say, well, they're trying to add more content to justify people sticking around for CBS All Access, and that's great. But I'm not really interested in a reboot of the Twilight Zone.
Don't talk to me about reboots.
The voice guy gets it.
He does get it. But what was interesting, one of the things that I came across is that there's so much stuff out there. There's so much content, right? I mean, even you and I have trouble keeping up with things for the show. And so Hollywood is looking at reboots to try to have that successful, capture someone's attention, right? Well, you've seen this before. You're going to like it again.
Yeah, right.
and I get that, but we really need new stuff. It's just terrible.
I don't know. So, well, shoot. We got to get ready to take a break here because we got to go talk with Skungy.
All right.
His pick of the week.
All right.
What? Oh, you know what we need to do?
What do we need to do?
What is the date today, Brian?
Oh, today is November 5th.
Remember the 5th of November, the gunpowder, treason, and plot. I know of no reason why the gunpowder treason should ever be forgot.
I forgot what it's about. Remind me again?
Well, so this is, of course, that was from V for Vendetta, but it's about Guy Fawkes Day, also known as Bonfire Night or Firework Night.
Bonfire Night?
Yeah.
You like bonfires?
Yeah, I was at one last night.
So is this like a Hell Night, like from The Crow?
No, it's an annual commemoration observed on the 5th of November, primarily in Great Britain, and it's about the events that happened on the 5th of November in 1605 when Guy Fawkes, he was a member of the Gunpowder Plot, was arrested while guarding explosives that was placed under the House of Lords. And it celebrates the fact that King James I survived, and people lit bonfires around London. It's, been perpetuated since then, and it's the longest-running observance of Schadenfreude that we've ever seen. Right?
Well played. Well played.
But, of course, it came into hugely into popular culture with V for Vendetta. I mean, that's such a fantastic movie, and it is a departure from the graphic novel. If you've ever read it, the V is much more vicious in the graphic novel.
Oh yeah. And he uses what is it, onomatopoeia or whatever the hell it is, where he's like the vicious suave of villainy.
Yes, exactly.
Vile and veritus. I have no idea what that means. All right, so we got to take a break because we got to deal with our boy Skungy in this pick of the week later on. We are going to have to get back to our top nerd news, Brian, because
what?
The Jetsons.
Yes.
They're back in the news.
They are. They're good stuff.
Back in the news. I couldn't be happier about it.
All right. Well, guys, when we get back, we'll be talking to Skungy and some more Top Nerd News. You're listening to The Week in Geek on News Talk 99.5 WRNO. Jezebel Johnston, Devil's Handmaid by Nancy Hansen, is now an audiobook read for you by Brian Held. It's a tale of a young girl from Tortuga who disguises herself as a boy and bluffs her way onto a pirate ship, chasing after her one true love, only to find adventure on the high seas. Jezebel Johnston, Devil's Handmaid is available on Amazon, Audible, and iTunes. Get your copy of Jezebel Johnston today.
You've waited for it, and now it's here. Get your very own Week in Geek Radio Show t-shirt and help support our show. These 100% cotton black t-shirts with the Week in Geek Radio Show logo are going fast. So don't wait. Go to twigradio.com and order your shirt now. Just go to twigradio.com/shop and get your very own Week in Geek Radio Show t-shirt. $15 up to XL, $17 for 2X and 3X. That's twigradio.com.
Come out to the St. Tammany Collectors Con November 11th at the Clarion in Covington. Toys, comic books, artists, games, and more. Meet costume characters from Star Wars, Star Trek, G.I. Joe, and Doctor Who. All-day entertainment for only $3 at the St. Tammany Collectors Con November 11th at the Clarion in Covington. Find out more information at facebook.com/St. Tammany Collectors Con. Join us. You'll be glad you did.
Black Tie Tans, the premier mobile spray tanning professionals of New Orleans. Black Tie Tans will come to you and give you a natural glistening glow on the go. First-time customers get 20% off their first tan. Find them on Facebook at Black Tie Tans or email them at blacktitans@gmail.com to set your appointment. Going to a wedding? Going out to the club? Black Tie Tans will give you the look you need. Black Tie Tans. Tell your pale friends.
Friends, is your morning tea just not your cup of tea? Then try the tea blends of Viridian Tea Company. At Viridian Tea Company, they sell blends guaranteed to make you think outside the box. With such blends as My Enemy's Tears, Goth Librarian, Cyberpunk, and many more, your tea experience will be out of this world. Look for the blends at Tubby & Coo's Mid-City Bookshop, located at 631 North Carrollton, or on Etsy at Viridian Tea Company. Try Viridian Tea Company today. Your taste buds will thank you.
In a New Orleans that never was and never will be, airships float high above the city while platoons of clockwork automatons patrol the streets below. In Storyville, pirates, streetwalkers, gamblers, and thieves prowl back alleys in search of their next mark. New Orleans by Gaslight, the premier anthology of locally written and locally produced steampunk poetry and fiction, all set in Victorian New Orleans. Buy it now, available in both paperback and Kindle versions at Amazon.com. New Orleans by Gaslight.
My name is Optimus Prime, and you are listening to The Week in Geek. Autobots, transform and roll out!
Welcome back. You're listening to The Week in Geek on News Talk 99.5 WRNO. This is your host, D-Squared, with
Brian Held.
All right, Brian. Guess what, pal?
What?
I'm so excited. You know why?
Why?
Because it's time for Skungy's Pick of the Week.
Not what you would call a handsome man.
Skungy's Pick of the Week is brought to you by GameStop and ThinkGeek.com.
Skungy's Pick of the Week.
He might be an idiot savant.
Woohoo!
Skungy, what's shaking bacon? Where's he at?
I don't know.
I don't know either.
Hello.
Oh.
Good God. Hey, are you there?
Gentlemen.
Hey, can you hear us?
I don't think he can hear us.
I don't think he can hear us.
I can hear you, Brian.
Oh.
All right, Brian, talk to him.
All right. Hey, Skungy, what's shaking, bacon?
Not a whole lot. How are you guys doing?
We're doing good, although apparently Dave's mic's not working.
Hey,
although
there we are.
That's not a...
There we are.
There we are. Shut up, Brian.
I was going to say that's not a bad thing. So what are we talking about this week, Skungy?
We are talking about South Park, the fractured butthole.
Okay. So... What's it all about?
Hemorrhoids.
All right. It is, exactly. It is. It is about that you need preparation H after you play this game.
Okay.
It is the sequel to the very successful South Park: The Stick of Truth that came out a couple of years ago. It is made by Ubisoft. It's one of the Ubisoft games, and it is an action RPG that is set in the South Park world.
Okay.
Now, the first game was set based primarily off of the Lord of the Rings episode that they did in South Park. This one is based off of the Coon and Friends episodes that they did.
Oh, the superheroes?
Yeah, so they have there's Coon and Friends and the Super Pals, and they're having a civil war.
Okay.
Just like in the Marvel universe. So you have, the Coon and Captain Diabetes going against Mysterion and Cool Shed.
That's terrible. Okay.
So you have all these characters, all these great. I mean, anybody who's ever watched the show of South Park, it is a fantastic show. It is so much fun. It's got a lot of humor to it. It is raunchy, so if you have any problems with raunchiness, please do not play this game. But it is so much fun. Now, the beautiful thing about it is that this game has been developed, even though it's developed by Ubisoft, it has been monitored from beginning to end by Trey Parker and Matt Stone from South Park.
Okay, cool.
So they are watching every little bit about the game. They are, we have done everything. We are, they're behind every little bit, every joke, every scene, every set, everything they are watching.
Okay.
So you get that, it feels like an exaggerated, longer episode of the show.
Well, that sounds really cool.
How long has South Park been on the air now?
Over 20 years.
I'd say it's over 20 years.
Yeah, it's over 20 years. I think it's 21 years now, I think.
Damn.
21 or 22.
I'll look it up.
So it's been around for a while, and this game plays like it's a turn-based RPG, but it's a turn-based tactic RPG. So anybody who's played a game, Final Fantasy Tactics is probably one of the best ways I can describe it, where every character has a turn, but you have a grid base, and depending on where you're standing is what kind of attack you can do, or if you're behind cover to protect yourself. So where the last one was just a strictly turn-based RPG, this one you have to have a little bit more strategy of where you're going to go, who you're going to move first, where you're going to move. So it's got a little bit more deeper gameplay than the last one does.
Real quick, 20 years. It debuted in August of 1997.
Damn.
And it's
wow.
This was spawned from The Spirit of Christmas, a internet short in 92 and 95.
Oh, that was Jesus and Santa Claus fighting. Oh,
Jesus
my God.
And Santa Claus fighting, yeah.
God, that was awesome.
It was one of the first internet viral videos.
Jesus,
there you
was
go.
That the best.
It was. All right. Sorry, didn't mean to derail you,
All
Smithy.
right, so you like the gameplay, and it's all Trey Parker and Stone, right?
Yeah, it is. So if you're a fan of the show, you're going to see a lot of really cool Easter eggs throughout the entire show, throughout the game. And here's one of the cool things about it. It's a lot longer than the last one. Now, this game has been in development for a long time. In fact, they actually make stabs and jokes about it, like a guy standing on a bus stop, and he's on his phone going, "Man, this bus should have been here 3 years ago. This bus is 6 months late."
Amusing.
So it's making fun of the fact that it's very meta, if you would, making fun of the fact that it's been delayed. But it's really fun, and if you're a fan of the show, you're going to like it. You're going to see a lot of Easter eggs, and it's about twice the size of the last game. Now, one of the bonuses that you get when you buy the game, if you buy the game within probably the first month of it, you're going to get the first game absolutely free as a download.
Oh, nice.
Wow.
You spoke the magic word today.
I know, huh? I'm in.
Free!
Yes.
Free. All right, so price and platform, Skungy.
It is on the PS4. It's on the Xbox One, and it's on the Dirty PC, and it is $59.99. But there is also a gold edition that you can get digitally. The physical edition is no longer available, but you can get the deluxe edition with the season pass, because Ubisoft is all about season passes and everything, so you can get that for $99. Yet they've given really no information of what's going to be in the season pass.
Well, was there a season pass for the last one?
No, there wasn't, but this one does have a season pass, because they're going to have add-on missions and episodes and everything like that, which honestly, this game lends itself to having episodes because it's like a episode of the show. So it would be a lot better if they did episode 2, episode 3. It would fit better and work very well.
Cool. Well, what was the other game that you wanted to talk about, Skungy?
Well, the other game, I haven't really had a chance to play it that much, but I wanted to mention it to our viewers. So last week, y'all came through the House of Shock during its last time with the fabulous Mark Meir.
Right.
Fabulous. Mark Meir, he let me know about this game that he worked on called Slay Away Camp.
Right.
Now, this is a puzzle game that's available on PlayStation 4, Xbox One. It's been on Steam for a while, but it just came to PS4 and Xbox One. And it looks almost like Minecraft, even though it is nothing like that. It's a puzzle game where you're playing a killer, kind of like Jason, and you're using like these slide puzzles to try to kill everybody in the scene. Nice. And it's very reminiscent of the 80s. It's got like 80s soundtrack. It looks like, so he's playing the killer, and Kane Hodder, who is one of the most famous Jasons in all this franchise, is also doing voice work in it too.
Nice.
And it looks so much fun. And it's really cheap too. I mean, it's only like $16.
Oh, that's cool. Yeah. I mean, how long's the content? Like how much game time?
I mean, it's like I said, it's a puzzle game. You're not going to have a lot of content, depending on how well you do with a puzzle game. I mean, puzzle games can go really quick.
Yeah.
You could be done with the puzzle game in 3 hours if you're fantastic with puzzles, or they could take you, 4 days, depending on how well you get through the puzzle.
By stage 2, I would just quit.
Yeah, you would probably quit.
Because, so does Mark Meir talk in it?
Yes, he did.
Okay, that's what I want to know. That's all I care about. All
right, he is awesome.
All right, so you said it's on Steam. How much was it again?
It's only right now on Xbox is only $16.99.
Well, that's cool. That's not bad.
No, it's not at all.
All right, so Skungy, what do you have for us next week?
Okay, next week we're going to do a double feature. We're jam packed next week.
I've got
Assassin's Creed Origin and Wolfenstein 2.
Cool.
I still haven't gone and picked up that game.
Do it.
I haven't had time. Everybody can kiss my ass.
Okay.
I'll get there when I get there.
I don't have the time to play it either. So
I know.
Bad, man.
I'm telling you, I have work to do, Brian. Nobody can be retired like you,
yeah,
living
right.
the good life, being in the movies, doing voice work.
Skungy.
Being a local celebrity like you are.
Must be nice, Brian.
Yeah, I suppose. Well, Skungy, you've got work to do now. You got a week to get these games played.
I know what my job is. I don't know what your job is.
Get your butt to work.
Brian Held.
Can I fire Skungy?
Yes, you may. Absolutely.
Skungy, thanks very much. All right, well, are we going to have Miss Shannon come on in a little bit?
Absolutely. She's
Great.
on the phone right now.
Fantastic. Guys, stay tuned. When we get back, we're going to hear a little bit about NaNoWriMo, finish up on Top Nerd News. You're listening to The Week in Geek on News Talk 99.5 WRNO.
Listen, bud, he's got radioactive blood. Can he swing from a thread? Take a look overhead. Hey there goes the Spider-Man.
You've waited for it, and now it's here. Get your very own Week in Geek Radio Show t-shirt and help support our show. These 100% cotton black t-shirts with the Week in Geek Radio Show logo are going fast. So don't wait. Go to twigradio.com and order your shirt now. Just go to twigradio.com/shop and get your very own Week in Geek Radio Show t-shirt. $15 up to XL, $17 for 2X and 3X. That's twigradio.com.
Friends, is your morning tea just not your cup of tea? Then try the tea blends of Viridian Tea Company. At Viridian Tea Company, they sell blends guaranteed to make you think outside the box. With such blends as My Enemy's Tears, Goth Librarian, Cyberpunk, and many more, your tea experience will be out of this world. Look for the blends at Tubby & Coo's Mid-City Bookshop, located at 631 North Carrollton, or on Etsy at Viridian Tea Company. Try Viridian Tea Company today. Your taste buds will thank you.
Black Tie Tans, the premier mobile spray tanning professionals of New Orleans. Black Tie Tans will come to you and give you a natural glistening glow on the go. First-time customers get 20% off their first tan. Find them on Facebook at Black Tie Tans or email them at blacktitans@gmail.com to set your appointment. Going to a wedding? Going out to the club? Black Tie Tans will give you the look you need. black tie tans. Tell your pale friends.
Jezebel Johnston, Devil's Handmaid by Nancy Hansen, is now an audiobook read for you by Brian Held. It's a tale of a young girl from Tortuga who disguises herself as a boy and bluffs her way onto a pirate ship, chasing after her one true love, only to find adventure on the high seas. Jezebel Johnston, Devil's Handmaid is available on Amazon, Audible, and iTunes. Get your copy of Jezebel Johnston today.
Are you ready for some football? Starting September 10th at the 14 Parishes Restaurant, the Independent Gaming League will be running their online Madden League. There will be discounted food and beverages for all players throughout the day, and all your favorite Sunday games will be airing, so you won't miss a down. Players competing from the venue can also take part in free mini-games for prizes provided by our sponsors. For more information about the Independent Gaming League and to register, visit igltournaments.com. That's igltournaments.com.
Come out to the St. Tammany Collectors Con November 11th at the Clarion in Covington. Toys, comic books, artists, games, and more. Meet costume characters from Star Wars, Star Trek, G.I. Joe, and Doctor Who. All-day entertainment for only $3 at the St. Tammany Collectors Con November 11th at the Clarion in Covington. Find out more information at facebook.com/St. Tammany Collectors Con. Join us. You'll be glad you did.
This is Captain Rex, troopers, and you're listening to The Week in Geek. Now move out.
Welcome back, New Orleans. You're listening to The Week in Geek on News Talk 99.5 WRNO. This is Brian Held with
D-Squared.
I haven't heard that one in forever.
I know. I dust them off every now and again.
That's good.
Just to keep you on your toes, pal.
Apparently. So, guys, we have Miss Shannon Kitchens on the line to talk to us about NaNoWriMo. Shannon, you there?
Yeah, I'm here.
Hey, fantastic. Good to have you.
All right, so Shannon, I know this is kind of last minute. You know, I hit you up on Facebook. It's November 5th. NaNoWriMo has begun. How many words am I supposed to have written by now?
Well, about 8,000 today.
Holy crap.
A little bit over 8,000 today.
8,335.
That's it.
Yeah.
Smarty pants.
Hey, well, you know.
Well, if it makes you feel better, I'm only at about 6,000, so.
All right, well, that's
I'm behind.
So what is NaNoWriMo, Shannon?
NaNoWriMo is a challenge to write 50,000 words of a novel in a month, which roughly equates to the rough draft of a novel, a full-length novel. Okay,
and I mean, you know, what started NaNoWriMo? Like how, you know, what are we doing here?
So what started it was, I think it started like 12 or 15, it started many, many years ago. I wasn't involved out in California, and it was the idea that everyone kind of has this story to tell, and so many of us want to write a novel at some point in our lives, but we just always kind of put it off. So November is kind of this challenge to, like, if you've ever wanted to write something, now is the time to sit down and do it. And so just get that novel down, instead of just putting it off any longer.
It's also kind of like a little bit of peer pressure, too, because it's a whole lot of other people that, you know, share a passion for writing. And, you know, it's like, hey, how many words are you at? So it kind of like guilts you a little bit into working, but it also kind of, you know, it promotes, you know, it provides an atmosphere of, you know, like, hey,
creativity.
Yeah, right. And now you guys have like write-ins and stuff. Tell me about that.
So one of the really interesting things about NaNoWriMo is the fact that we get together and kind of all write in the same space. We don't necessarily write together, but we sit in the same space and write, and then it fuels this like energy of creativity that we're all doing this crazy endeavor of writing 50,000 words in 1 month together, and it just becomes this kind of social thing where we work together, we feed off each other, we keep each other going when it gets rough. We challenge each other to write more words than each other. It's a strange but magical thing.
So now, I'm a member from a few years ago. Now, I've been seeing on the boards that we're meeting at Cafe Luna. Is that still where we're going?
Well, we meet in different places depending on the night. Next week, I know Monday nights is in Jefferson Parish. We meet at the Lakeshore Library from 6 to 8:30. Wednesday nights we meet at the Bean Gallery. We sometimes have a Friday write-in at Cafe Luna. I know we have a couple other events. We have a coffee crawl in the middle of the month, which we go to coffee shops all over the city, writing, it's like a writing marathon where we write from like 10 a.m. to like 8 p.m. at night.
Nice.
Now, this is all very local specific, and you know we've got listeners all over the place here, and there's an online support community for this too, right?
Yes, as much as it is a local event, it's also an international event. So there's writing communities online. There's virtual write-ins where you can go into chat rooms and work with people from all over the area, from all over the world that are participating in this. It's as much virtual as it is local. It's a really crazy thing. I know I have writing friends from all over the country. I'll log in on Facebook and talk to friends in California, in Chicago, in Florida. We're all working on the same project.
So now, where do we sign up? How do we find out more? What's the website? All that jazz.
So the website is www.nanowrimo.org. NaNoWriMo is spelled NaNoWriMo, National Novel Writing Month.org. And you can, when you log in, you create an account. It'll help you sign up for your novel. It'll tell you how many words you need. It has all these great infographics. And then you can find regions near you. There's all kinds of regions, so if you want it to go local. And then there's tons of other forums for everyone to like participate in. There's things with resources where if you have a question on how something works, you can post that in a forum and someone will answer it. If you want to just kind of chat about how hard writing is, there's a forum for that. It's this massive online community.
That's cool. Now, is this your first time doing this?
This is not my first time doing it. I'm a veteran. I've been participating since 2008.
Okay. And my wife has done this as well. And so I know that there's a follow-up period where you edit and everything. Have you done that portion as well?
Sort of. I've edited before. I haven't actually finished a round of editing because editing is much harder to me than writing the novel. But I know several people who have edited. I know people that have been traditionally published and have self-published people. I even know someone that was on the New York Times bestselling list with their NaNoWriMo novel. So it can go places. It definitely has, it's that groundwork to do something really creative.
Well, Shannon, we're looking forward to seeing your book someday on the show.
Someday. I'm working on it. My goal is to have something published by mid-next year. I have a project I've been working on for the last few months that was my NaNoWriMo from 2015, and it's pretty much through a good chunk of revision. So hopefully next year I'm going to try to do something with it.
Fantastic.
Well, Shannon, look, thank you so much for joining us. And give us that website one more time.
Sure. It's www.nanowrimo.org.
All right. Well, great. Thank you so much. Appreciate your time calling in tonight.
Thank you.
All right.
Bye-bye.
All right. Now, Brian, where we left off was something I really wanted to talk about, but we didn't get to. It was, this song used to be my ringtone.
What song is this?
You don't know this song.
Oh, I do now.
I'm going to punch you in the face. I'm going to come in that studio, Brian.
So, you
don't tell me you don't like Fraggle Rock. I'm going to come in there, Brian.
So hold on. Let me get it out. You sent me the show audio earlier today so I could review it and everything, and I played this for my wife, and of course she started dancing, right? Because she loves it.
Yeah.
And she was like, "You saw Fraggle Rock?" And I'm like, "No, I didn't."
Oh my God, Brian!
Well, but then she was like, "Well,
you think you know a person?"
Hold on,
and then they say they don't know Fraggle Rock.
But I know of it. I just didn't watch it as a kid because we didn't have HBO. We were poor. What? Did you have HBO as a kid?
I did not, but my uncle did. So I went over to his house and watched Fraggle Rock, like a good loafing bum should do.
Well, I didn't have an uncle with HBO, so.
Well, you failed at childhood. Fraggle Rock is the best thing ever. So they're making Funko Pops of Fraggle Rock.
I saw that.
I just wanted to play the song, to be honest with you. Because Fraggle Rock. But, I mean, it's the old Jim Henson stuff. I mean, This is some of the... Actually, it's on Netflix. No, not on Netflix. I retract that statement. It's on HBO still, but you can go on demand. So, like if you're watching Game of Thrones and you got the HBO Go and all that jazz, you can pull up old episodes of Fraggle Rock. And I started watching it with Dean, my little 4-year-old.
Nice.
And he's just like, what? He was fascinated. The doozers, the little guys that eat the little architects, and they build ramps and bridges, and then the Fraggles eat them, and then the poor little douchers got to start over again. It's a very vicious cycle. Sometimes I think the Fraggles are all a bunch of potheads, just eating on whatever's around, and then they go on, mystical voyages. But when I was a child, I loved it.
Well, and that's cool, and it sounds like Dean loves it too. But now you can get your very own Funko Pops.
Yes.
Yeah.
Absolutely. All right, where was I going from that after that one?
I don't know.
I remember.
Yes.
This is like a theme song show today. I don't know how it happened, but it's just the news cycle.
Is it?
It is.
Okay.
You damn well better know this song.
I absolutely do know this one.
So DC came out with a Jetsons comic book, Brian. It just came out November 1st.
Yeah, and it's definitely a different take on what we saw.
It is not your grandpa's Jetsons.
I know.
So apparently now they're living... Who would actually stop and think about this? Where it's like, okay, why were the Jetsons all living in these big, elevated sky castles? And, they all had, robots, and they lived in the lap of luxury.
Yeah. That was the future that we were promised. Right? We want our flying cars and jetpacks.
But apparently some people, since we don't have our flying cars yet, they figure there must be something more insidious at work. And so apparently what they're saying now in this new comic book is that the whole reason that the Jetsons are living in the sky is because there was some sort of cataclysmic event where...
it was a meteor hit.
And it wiped out the surface of the Earth. And so we all moved up to the skies. And like only a fraction of the population survived. And they're living in this lap of luxury, which i.e. means they were only the wealthiest, like 2% of the population that survived. So apparently the Jetsons are evil bastards.
Apparently it's this whole dystopian environment that they're in. And all the blue-collar type jobs are all taken up by robots now.
Right, because apparently our workforce died. But then it gets even creepier. The robot is now George Jetson's mom downloaded her consciousness into the robot.
Into Rosie?
Rosie, yes. Rosie, I blanked on her name.
Yes.
So it just gets weirder. But Jane, his wife, works for NASA.
Right.
And she was even like in the comic book, she said something like, we had to make a choice. And like some people were left behind. And so it's really sick and twisted. And part of me, the morbid curiosity wants me to go buy this comic book and read it. But also, I love the Jetsons, and I don't want them to destroy my childhood like they do with so many things, like the movie Pixels, perhaps.
Right, yeah, that was pretty bad.
You never know.
Yeah, I guess when I stop by my friendly local comic book shop on Wednesday to get my new comics, I guess I'll have to pick it up, check it out.
And your friendly local comic book guy, I'm going to have to go have some words with him.
Why?
He was dogging the Saints.
Was he?
And the Tigers.
What?
I'm going to have to go fisticuffs with him.
Doesn't matter to me, Dave.
I know it doesn't matter to you, non-football loving nerd.
Are we? I think that was it on my list. Hey, Strange Music is a new book. It's a Pip and Flinks adventure by Alan Dean Foster.
Pip and Flinks.
That's the characters. And
like Ratchet and Clank?
Yeah, sort of like that.
Okay.
And we were sent a review copy by Del Rey.
Score.
And it is due out on November 7th. I read a good portion of this. I enjoyed what I was reading. Nice, rousing space adventure.
Rousing.
Yeah, but the only odd thing...
Space romp.
There's like 20 books out in this series with these characters.
Jumping Jehoshaphat.
Pip and Flinks. So I was more interested in kind of going back so I could understand what's happening. And we get some books, and it'll be like second or third in the series, but you can read it and understand in context everything that's going on. And that wasn't so much the case with this one. Not to say that I didn't enjoy it. I did enjoy it, but I'm actually more interested in going back to the beginning and kind of figuring out what's going on with some of the deeper plot threads that they have going on. Yeah, but it was cool. So November 7th, Strange Music by Alan Dean Foster. Go check it out.
Well, there we go. All right, before we go to break, one final thing. Dwayne Johnson's Black Adam has a new script writer.
Are we going to really talk about this?
Of course we are.
Okay.
But we're going to talk about it as we go to break.
That's fine. This sounds like an absolute train wreck ready to happen.
It does. So it's going to be authored by the man who wrote Alvin and the Chipmunks, The Road Chip. Not The Road Trip, The Road Chip.
He also wrote Due Date and Diary of a Wimpy Kid, The Long Haul.
So he didn't even write the original Diary of the Wimpy Kid? He wrote like the third installment of that crap fest?
Apparently, yes.
Damn. And Due Date should have been good, but it wasn't.
Right.
It had Zach Galifianakis and Tony Stark in it.
Well, and, I was thinking that maybe it was one hell of a pitch session that he gave.
It must have been.
Yeah,
I mean.
but then again, this is Warner Brothers we're talking about, and,
I don't know, but Dwayne Johnson, The Rock, man. I mean, look, this new Jumanji, I'm excited about it. I don't care what anybody says. I'm really excited about this new Jumanji. I think it's a new take, and it's not a reboot, Brian.
It's not completely a reboot. I'm interested.
And it's a continuation.
Yes.
So I think it'll be good because Dwayne, The Rock, can pull this stuff off. I mean, the Tooth Fairy, it's a classic, Brian. Mm-hmm. Have you seen the Tooth Fairy with The Rock?
No, but I did see the Scorpion King.
We're not going there. God, I hate you.
All right.
Good. We can agree on that, right?
Yes.
I
already knew that.
When we come back, what are we doing, Brian?
We're doing This Week in Geek History. Stay tuned, everyone. You're listening to The Week in Geek on News Talk 99.5 WRNO.
Jezebel Johnston, Devil's Handmaid by Nancy Hansen, is now an audiobook read for you by Brian Held. It's a tale of a young girl from Tortuga who disguises herself as a boy and bluffs her way onto a pirate ship, chasing after her one true love, only to find adventure on the high seas. Jezebel Johnston, Devil's Handmaid is available on Amazon, Audible, and iTunes. Get your copy of Jezebel Johnston today.
Black Tie Tans, the premier mobile spray tanning professionals of New Orleans. Black Tie Tans will come to you and give you a natural glistening glow on the go. First-time customers get 20% off their first tan. Find them on Facebook at Black Tie Tans or email them at blacktitans@gmail.com to set your appointment. Going to a wedding? Going out to the club? Black Tie Tans will give you the look you need. Black Tie Tans. Tell your pale friends.
Friends, is your morning tea just not your cup of tea? Then try the tea blends of Viridian Tea Company. At Viridian Tea Company, they sell blends guaranteed to make you think outside the box. With such blends as My Enemy's Tears, Goth Librarian, Cyberpunk, and many more, your tea experience will be out of this world. Look for the blends at Tubby & Coo's Mid-City Bookshop, located at 631 North Carrollton, or on Etsy at Viridian Tea Company. Try Viridian Tea Company today. Your taste buds will thank you.
You've waited for it, and now it's here. Get your very own Week in Geek Radio Show t-shirt and help support our show. These 100% cotton black t-shirts with the Week in Geek Radio Show logo are going fast. So don't wait. Go to twigradio.com and order your shirt now. Just go to twigradio.com/shop and get your very own Week in Geek Radio Show t-shirt. $15 up to XL, $17 for 2X and 3X. That's twigradio.com.
Come out to the St. Tammany Collectors Con November 11th at the Clarion in Covington. Toys, comic books, artists, games, and more. Meet costume characters from Star Wars, Star Trek, G.I. Joe, and Doctor Who. All-day entertainment for only $3 at the St. Tammany Collectors Con November 11th at the Clarion in Covington. Find out more information at facebook.com/St. Tammany Collectors Con. Join us. You'll be glad you did.
Now back to local celebrity, Brian Held. Hey, D Squared, meet me at the bar at 7 p.m. We'll have 2 drinks and then drink till 9 p.m. I'm already intoxicated. I hope there's a big taxi to take me home.
Welcome back to the Week in Geek featuring the drunk voice guy. I'm your host, D Squared, with
Brian Held.
Local celebrity, Brian Held. Hey, D Squared.
So do you want to talk about real quick where we're going to be in the next couple of weeks?
Yes. This Saturday we're going to be at the St. Tammany Collectors Fair, Collectors Convention.
Yes.
SCCC.
Yes, up in Covington at the Clarion. And what's cool about it is we're actually doing a panel on Hopeless, a Star Wars story. So I'm going to be moderating that with John Armijo, who's the producer and writer.
Mm-hmm.
And
John Mangus?
John Mangus will be there, as well as Michael Anglin, the director, and Jason Stanley, who is one of the Rebel. He's a Rebel lieutenant.
Well, cool.
Yeah, so if y'all want to come check it out, we've got a new trailer coming out. Hopefully the special effects will be in it, and that'll be super awesome.
Yeah.
So
$3, people.
Yeah.
$3, and they got 2 giant ass rooms. Last year they just had the one.
Right.
They've grown, and they didn't increase the price.
I know.
I mean, it's like a win-win, dude. And they're doing Toys for Tots.
And that's super cool.
I know.
Absolutely.
All right, and then the week after that, we're going to friggin' Memphis.
Yes, Memphis Comic and Fantasy Convention. We are guests who
Who knew?
Who knew? I mean,
I hope you knew, because I don't know anything.
Clearly, we tricked somebody.
Fooled you.
Right, exactly.
All right. You ready to do this week in geek history?
Yes, sir.
This week in geek history.
We're sending you back to the future! Yes! Oh my God!
This week in geek history is brought to you by Jezebel Johnston, Devil's Handmaid by Nancy Hansen, read by Brian Held. Available on Amazon, Audible, and iTunes. This week in geek history.
Yes! Oh my gosh!
Dun-dun-dun. Wow. All right, we're in the mad dash, Brian.
All right, October 30th, 1938. Orson Welles broadcast The War of the Worlds, which
fooled you.
Yeah, scared the pants off some folks who missed the disclaimers at the beginning of the broadcast.
This is not a real broadcast.
Right. No, it was.
This is the Week in Geek, not real news.
Next on my list, October 31st, 1981. The little-known follow-up to the Rocky Horror Picture Show, Shock Treatment, premieres.
Oh, I forgot about that.
Yeah, most people do.
Yeah. Why would you remember it?
Right, it's not that good.
If we're being honest here, the first one wasn't all that great either.
Yeah, well, no, but it's that classic deal.
Well, yeah, absolutely. I'm not knocking it. Don't get me wrong.
Yeah.
I'm going to read hate mail now.
This is interesting. My next one, November 1st, 1909. E.M. Foster publishes the science fiction short story The Machine Stops in the Oxford and Cambridge Review. The story explains the consequences of complete technological breakdown on a society that's dependent on information technology. And it's just interesting.
That's very prophetic.
Right.
1909?
Exactly. And it foreshadows, the internet and social networking and all that stuff. Yeah. So I want to look this up. I want to check that out.
Man, suck on that, Nostradamus.
Exactly. Next on my list, November 4th, 1922. KV-62, also known as King's Tut's Tomb, is discovered in the Valley of the Kings by Howard Carter.
Were you old enough to go to the King Tut's thing here in the NOMA, New Orleans Museum of Art? Because they came here. I think I was a babe.
Yeah.
Like a babe in swaddling clothes, I think, when it came here.
I don't think I
saw
that.
It was a huge deal, though, man. I mean, like, my parents had the tickets framed and everything, man.
Wow.
Yeah.
I don't think I saw that one. You want me to go straight to birthdays?
No, do one more.
All right. On November 5th, 2004. You don't have to guess this one. It's starring the voice talent of Craig T. Nelson, Holly Hunter, Sarah Vowell, Spencer Fox, Jason Lee, and Samuel L. Jackson.
I don't know.
The Incredibles.
Oh, my God. That's a great movie.
It is.
We're finally getting a second one, like 30 years later.
Right.
Not that long, but I mean, good Lord. I mean, that was a fun movie.
It was a
fun movie.
Absolutely fun movie.
I watch it every time it comes on.
All right, birthdays.
That and Superhero High. Or whatever.
Oh, yeah.
Sky High.
Yeah, Sky High with Kurt Russell, right?
Right,
yeah.
yes.
All right, on the 30th, Henry Winkler.
No, the Fonz.
Yes.
Hey.
On the 31st.
Here's Henry Winkler, covered in bees.
On the 31st, Erica Serra. She was Deputy Joe Lupo in Eureka.
Oh, okay.
She's also
Eric Estrada.
No, she's also Athena in Lucifer, and she's in the 100 as well.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. On the 1st, Anthony Kiedis from Red Hot Chili Peppers.
Oh, yeah, duh.
Yeah, duh. On the 2nd, Catherine Isabel. She was Ginger Fitzgerald in the Ginger Snaps trilogy. She's like a scream queen.
Well, okay.
Yeah. On the 4th, Linda Gary, who voiced tons of female voices on the original He-Man and She-Ra. Yes.
Have you seen the new He-Man Skeletor commercials?
Oh, yes.
You can save money by switching to Geico. So long, suckers.
Yeah.
Oh, shoot. Last minute, Brian. Anything else?
On the 5th, Madison McLaughlin. She's a Louisiana actress who is Chrissy Chambers in Supernatural.
Also, oh, yeah, right. All right, now, guys, as always, we strongly urge you to check out the Facebook page, facebook.com/The Week in Geek. Check out our website at twigradio.com. Follow us on Twitter at twigradio and the Instagram, The Weeks in Geek. Now, Brian, how can people listen to this lovely show?
Well, we're on Spreaker.com, or you can download Spreaker for your smartphone or tablet. We're also on iTunes, YouTube, the iHeartRadio app, and at WRNO.com.
All right, guys. Come out, see us, STCC, up at the Clarion in Covington.
And our guest next week is Tommy Hancock from Pro Se Press.
Word. All right, till next time, keep your nerd flag raised high.
GFL.
Your new home For Walton and Johnson, News Talk 99.5 WRNO FM, New Orleans, an iHeart radio station.